Hello and welcome to Asian Paints India Design ID Google Hangouts 2014. Today we have with us Rosita Missoni, Creative Director of Missoni Home. Rosita was at the helm of Missoni, the famous fashion brand which she launched with her husband, Ottavio, for 50 years. Now,
For 60.
for 60 years. And now, the brand firmly in the hands of her children, Rosita has moved on to another passion of hers, home decor. And she launched the Sony Home, which represents one of the finest examples of Italian products. And the Missoni Home style is absolutely unmistakable in its melange of colors and stitches. So, Rosita, today we're going to talk to you about what you do in a day in the life of legend. But first things first, how was your transition from going from, the forward in fashion to going to a home decor diva? Was it easy, the transition, or was it a little difficult?
It was spontaneous
Mhm.
because I'm talking about 17 years ago, it was 1997, and my daughter Angela decided that she was ready to get my job in fashion, which had become for me a duty
Mhm.
more than the passion that I had for many, many years. Because my life did not correspond anymore to the life a person who lives with fashion.
Mhm.
But I was keeping my finger crossed. I knew my daughter was ready to give me the change, and when she said, "Mom, I'm ready," I said, "Oh, good." So immediately I retired. Going every day again onto the factory because I had my office, because I had to do things that like all the mail, the organizing parties, or sending invitations, or obituaries, all that kind. That was I was still expected to do, but I used for 2 3 days a week. I took my grandchildren to school, which was very nice. To that they were in their teens, and it was nice to live a few minutes in the car with them, and but then after maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I said, no, my life cannot be this way. And I started thinking, what can I do? And we had the home collection, which is actually produced by my family, my brothers. And, uh, and I said, for the home, my passion has always been there. I always cared. I was a fashion designer, but I always cared just
Just
of
as
my
much.
home, taking home fabrics from the factory and making using them for sofas or for pillows or a tablecloth or whatever, to just to give a lift to the house. And and I said I could take care. And it was 97, so it was a moment in which the home was becoming fashion.
Right.
Design was taking over, and it was becoming popular. And fantastic moments in Milan with the design week, and for that, my passion has always been there. And so I talked to my children. I said, listen, I would like to take care of the home collection because I think now home can be handled exactly like fashion. making things that are more up to date, making the home alive. And so they said, yes, why don't you talk to your brothers? Let's talk to your brothers if they want to have you around. So it was quite easy, my brothers, even if they know I am quite tough when I pretend to do something and they want to do it well. And a color, it's a color, but it has to be the right hue.
The right color, yeah.
Exactly. So, but we started, and after, let's say, a few months, going, for instance, to Maison Objet, we started seeing copies, like it happened in fashion. And you know, when they copy you, it's an homage. It means you mean something. You have a new language.
It's the best compliment. Yeah.
It's the best compliment. So this was the thing that gave me kind of pride. I said, you see, we are on the right path. We have to go on and do what we know and what we can judge if you like it or not. Then people, if people understand, they will follow. And this was it. And then little by little, the collection has become more important. We added the pieces of furniture. And it became, with the fashion, a lifestyle.
Mhm.
And the lifestyle is something you build forever.
Yeah.
And it's an achievement.
It is. So coming back to your day, Rosita, how do you start your day? What do you do? You open your eyes in
The
the
first
morning.
thing I do, I open my bedroom window, and I am on the upper floor, and I have in front, we built the house, first the factory, and then the house, in a place where we would have loved to spend our weekends. My husband said, for weekends, we can always go to Milan, but to make a creative work in a place that you like and where you feel relaxed and you enjoy a view. And we had the beautiful view, which is Monte Rosa, is the second biggest mountains. And in the morning it becomes pink. Rosa in Italian means pink. And at dawn it becomes pink. And I take pictures of that mountain every moment I can, because it's always different. And it's pink just for a few minutes, and then it becomes white, because generally it's full of snow. And it's, but when it rains and the Monte Rosa is not there, there are the trees, the garden, and it's still a view that gives. I have a balcony where I have flowers, and it's still a moment of in which I enjoy a special treat. And I feel at home, but I feel I am blessed by a beautiful place, a beautiful view. And this is very helpful to start the day.
To start the day. That's
Yeah.
that's a beautiful start to a beautiful day. So, Rosita, what is the most exhilarating part of your day?
Exhilarating.
Yeah,
Because
most
when I meet my
exciting.
grandchildren, which now they are, some of them are already starting in the factory, and at noontime, very often, there is no program. I might have lunch alone, but they might all, in 3 or 4, come to have lunch with me. And of course, that with them, life is always, there is
Always
always
exciting.
something to laugh about or to point out in a very humorous way. And that's quite. And then now I have become a grandmother, and sometimes Margherita, who lives nearby, comes with her baby, who is 5 months old.
Oh.
And he laughs, he's enjoy, he's just a very happy boy. So that's also a very emotional moment. The child charges my batteries. I need them.
And how do you wrap up your day? What do you do to unwind after a day at work? How do you unwind?
Well, generally I walk home because it's a few steps the house
Mhm.
from the factory, and I never leave the factory too early. It's maybe around 6:30, sometimes 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
And then I go home and um, maybe I read newspapers, which I didn't have time to read in the morning. And if it's summer, I walk into the garden, I have a look to my flowers. Sometimes I walk to the kitchen garden and I gather some vegetables or herbs or things, or I take care of flowers in the house, and and then it's just a very relaxing moment. And
So, apart from fashion and apart from decor,
mm,
is there any other subject that you're really passionate about?
I have many passions.
You do.
Of course,
Tell us a
I.
few, please. We want to know. We want to know you more, better. Mhm.
Well, one thing is passions that I have for the home.
Mhm.
So for me, decorating is something I always like to do, and I walk around it, and I see objects which, or I have a painting to hang, or I have something I just found and I want to give a space in the house. But if it's just my passions, I like to walk out in the open air. I like to swim. Uh, for instance, in the summer we have a big pool, and I like to have a swim at noontime also, or early in the morning, and that's it's sports, and in the same time it's a way of relax, and I like to look for mushrooms, for instance, when it's the season of mushrooms. They grow also in my garden.
In the rainy
But
season, perhaps, right?
in the generally it's fall,
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 okay.
and there are some who grow even in springtime. And I like all the kind of sprouts that come from nature, also wild herbs to make salads and to make. This is one of my
So you like tinkering in the
sports.
kitchen as well.
Yes, God bless, I have a very good cook who has been with me for more than 30 years. She's a Philippine lady, Ligaya. And so she cooks very well. I get very nervous when I want, the day she is off, and I want to invite my friends and I go to the kitchen. I need to stay. If they want to come and talk to the kitchen, I send them out because I have to concentrate. Once I used to do it every day, and I used to put my children and go home and prepare. And I had a maid, but she was never there when the meal was had to be served. So I had to deal with the last minute pasta or risotto or stew the meat or whatever, make eggs. And and I could do watching television, talking to the children. Once I used, it was not, it was automatic. Now, if I go to the kitchen, I have to concentrate and then just keep the time. Otherwise, I put the water to boil and it goes out, and the fire goes off. All the things that a, a, a cook has not to do, uh, but I have a great passion for cooking also, and and recipes, and if I go and I travel, I always bring back a couple of interesting recipes which I adopt.
And our last question, Rosita. At home, would you ever choose comfort over style? Or style over comfort, rather?
Uh, well, I think the two things in a home must go together. And nowadays, design offers, and one of the duties of design is also comfort. You need to have, I want a well designed chair, comfortable, and a sofa and a table. I mean, whatever. I'm crazy about the lazy Susan tables because this helps when you sit and you can serve yourself by this revolving discs.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. And Macintosh was doing the table in the beginning of the last century, and that was design and that was comfort at the same time.
So, Rosita, we're getting a few
Style
Twitter
and
questions.
comfort together.
So, we're getting a few Twitter questions right
Yeah.
now, and people want to know what is your favorite space in your home?
Uh, I would say my bedroom and my sitting room.
Your bedroom and your sitting
And
room.
the
Why
sitting
is
room. Because in the sitting room, it's a cozy corner where I can watch television. I like sports also. I follow sports. So I can watch sport, I can read my newspapers, I can have coffee with friends. Um, and of course, it's a place where you can see my presence because I have all my little things around and books which I like that I'm reading. But the same thing is my bedroom. I mean, the moment I can, either when I wake up in the morning or when I go to bed, is the quietest moment if I had a normal day. The quietest moment in my day, and I really enjoy it. And of course, I'm surrounded by all the things I love, uh, objects that I take, and then they hang around with me for some days. When I will be back from India, I will certainly have pieces of beauty of your beautiful uh, crafts and things which I will have. I mean, I will have it thrown on my bed, which will remind me of a special place I visited. I like to touch things, so objects or just colors. And then it's a moment which is just for myself, which is very, very precious.
Thank you, Rosita, for
Thank you.
talking to us, and thank you for joining us at this hangout.
Thank you. Hope this makes sense, but
It
it's my
does. It
life.
was